Today on Boardgasm, I'm going to be talking about Dungeon Degenerates by Goblinko. Listen up, this game fucking rules! Hey, what's up everybody? Cardone here, episode 1 of Boardgasm. Here we go. On today's show, we're going to talk about Dungeon Degenerates. It's a new game by this guy named Sean Auberg and Eric Rady. And it came out, I think last October. It's just got its second printing. Okay, let me just say this. Because I play a lot of games. This game's blowing my head off. Okay? I was going to wait to the end to give it a review, but I can't. It's too hard to hide. Basically, here's the premise of the game. All right, so let's take the classic Dungeons and Dragons premise. You know, the fantasy world. Okay, so we have this going on, but this is different. This is a fantasy world that comes out of a mind of somebody who listens to a lot of punk rock and metal and grew up sniffing glue. Okay, throwing a little thrash metal, throwing some really awesome 80s style art and a shit ton of creativity, and you get this game. And the story is Dungeons and Dragons, but you play the thugs. You play the drug dealers and the underbelly in prison getting out and running your adventure as soon as you get out of jail. That's the premise. Those are the characters you get to play. Yes, there's actual drug use in the game, okay? I'm going to say it right up. But it's fucking awesome. And if you don't like that kind of stuff, then you're going to hate the game. So, and you're probably going to hate this show, so you can go fuck yourself. This game is fun as shit, and I'm going to show you in a second why. It's a 1 to 4 player game. I've been playing it alone since last October, okay? Now, here, I've had some people jump in and out of the game. Moonlight Cardone jumps in and out. She's been playing a little bit. But it's like this. You play it alone, and you're fine. It's like a movie going on in your imagination, and when someone joins in, it's very easy to jump in and out. You can still roll your own stuff. It's an open world game, and it's a RPG hybrid board game with no dungeon master. Need I say more? Watch. Okay, here we go. I'm going to show you all the game components actually being used in a campaign. So here we go. This is the map. This is what it looks like when you're playing. This is where you keep track of the danger levels of each town. Some of these, if you look, are chips, and they're constantly changing. There's also town levels, which are green. And if you look, you'll see 2 little miniatures. There's my 2 characters right now. And there's a cardboard miniature out. The game comes with cardboard miniatures. They're great. They're fine, but if you're into minis like me, you get the other ones. Here's a couple characters being played right now with their chips out and their cards. Now, I leave this out. I've been playing a solo campaign for a long time. You can have people jump in and out, which is why there's a mini, the little alley cat girl's up there now. Someone's playing that. I leave it out a lot. I don't pack it up much because I do play this a lot. So, and then if you come down here, we've got these are cards, and I have this all set up. I have this very odd setup here. But I'm going to show it to you. I got my loot cards. I got cards for the area that I'm in, the danger cards, and then over here, I'm going to bring the light over here. You'll see the game box with extra stuff, and I put in a little organizer. And then chips that I use a lot, and the dice that we need for the game. If you like these kind of dice roller trays, I hand make them. This one's really cool. It's hard to see here. Sorry. There we go. And then we got the rule books. We got the mission book and the rule book. And we've got character cards. Now, I've gotten some of the expansions, so I have a little bit extra stuff here. And then here, this right here is I made this. This is a doc for when you're fighting the baddies. See, there you go. You put the chips in that they might be using, and you can put the monster. Look at these monster cards. There's a ghoul troll. Let's see, what else do we have? Okay, look at this one. This is like a Japanese mythological creature. Okay? He's weird. This is the lowlands. Let's see here. I'm just trying to show you. Dude, guys, the Night Witch. The artwork on these is amazing. And I don't like looking in here too much because there's still surprises in here. So, oh, and over here's the sheet that you keep track of when you're going to put the game away for the night. This keeps track of stuff. And then there's also a sheet for the towns. I wanted to step back to the map for a second just to explain something to you. Each one of the regions on this board that you travel to exploring for things and bad guys to assassinate, each one of those areas is completely different. And the cards and the encounters reflect that. For instance, let's look at some of the monsters. So you got the traditional orcs and goblins, which look awesome. But then you've got skinwalkers and sex dwarves. Yeah, that's true. You got swamp trolls, and then you have the law. There's a deck of cards, so when you're in the lowlands, the law is chasing you. They are looking for you. Here's a couple of the big bad guys, the Brute Lord and the Vampire Lord, which I've killed already. And then over here, I just had a couple of the cardboard stand-ups. You know what? These are really well made, and they look great. But ThunderChild Minis is making those minis that you saw a little earlier on. They're casting them out of resin and metal, and they're awesome. I mean, really, check them out. ThunderChild Minis on... ThunderChild Miniatures is their Instagram handle. Check them out. So back to the regular review. All right, so you saw the components, and like over here, like here's the rule book. So the rule book, and I'm going to be honest with you, when I first got the game, I thought it was going to be all fluff, lots of cool art. I mean, awesome art. This dude Sean Auberg's stuff blows my head off. I thought it was going to be that, but the game is really good. It's got some new ways of working stuff that I've never seen, and it really does feel like an RPG. It doesn't feel like a board game at all. Even though it's got tons of board game stuff. Now, I don't like fiddly games. I don't like them. I don't like a lot of little fiddly dials and doodads. This game's fiddly. It really is. But I don't mind the fiddle. It's fine. It's easy to do. It's not that complicated. Now, I'm going to tell you what. I'm continually learning this game. There's a lot of rules. It has got a lot of rules, but they all gel so well together. And when you learn a new rule, it's very hard to forget it because it's usually pretty logical. And the glossary's pretty damn good. Okay, it's got a good glossary, which is a big thing for me in rule books, and the monster abilities page, and there's some cheat sheet cards that it came with, so that it's got the turns. Already on what's that damn website called? Board Game Geek, or one of those, which is the one that's got a million. Anyway, there's a forum on there for this game, and it's already really great as a resource, and people are printing out new aids for the game. Like I made that the dock to put the bad guys. I make those, and like the dice rollers, but people are making cards that have dials for the game and all sorts of neat stuff. The way the missions work, I mean, you start at the beginning, you bust out of jail, and you get to make some decisions that kind of take you through the whole game. And you can play the missions as one-off. You can play the mission and keep the game rolling. Basically, it's an open world. You can go anywhere you want and do whatever you want. You go town to town exploring and doing things and killing monsters. And if you're going to follow the missions, it'll give you a goal. It'll say, you need to go to this town and kill this epic monster. The other day I killed a vampire lord, and I knew where he was, and I had to hunt him down, get enough gear to go do it, and kill him as part of another thing that I'm aiming for. I'm trying to kill this other big baddie wizard. So, and it really feels like the theme. And the rules feel like the theme. The rules are kind of intertwined with the theme. And the way the combat mechanics work, I never feel like my rolls are bullshit or my decision making is just like following the motions. I really have to stop and think if I'm going to go for instance, every time it's time to fight, you have to pick if you're gonna be on guard and a little more cautious or go for a freaking attack, right? And it dictates which dice you're using, and it's so organic. And I'm having a freaking blast. So, congrats, Sean Auberg and Eric Rady. I cannot wait to see your expansion coming out. They have a new expansion. They're on the 2nd edition. This is going to be a game that ain't going anywhere. I want to start writing scenarios for the game. It's that good. I have some ideas for some weird scenarios. Every time it's time to get a card out of the loot deck, it's exciting. You don't know what you're going to get. There's crazy weapons, and every now and then a bad guy pops out of the loot deck, and you got to fight him really quick. It's a real RPG feel. And before I go, I just want to show you some of the characters. So in the first game, there's a bad guy in one of the decks, one of the monsters, and then they made him a character. Jack, oh, the lighting in here sucks. Jack Slasher. He's like a pumpkin. He wears a pumpkin on his head. He's a serial killer. He was in jail for murder. Yeah. Now, when you're playing the game, you have this little, you put these little chips on this little chart, and I read some reviews. People didn't like the way it worked. And it's the same numbers, 1 to 21, for all of your stats. So if you have 3 gold, you put it on 3. If you have 3 experience, it also goes on that same 3. I don't care. It's fine. I keep track of the battles, and then I transfer it to the real sheet of paper in case this gets moved. Could this be better? Maybe. But I don't care. The game's awesome. That's the least of the crap. The quality, pretty damn good. These are on a thinner cardstock, but I don't want them on thick, giant cardstock because look how many characters there are. I've bought in the character expansions, which is why there's this many. But dude, when you see, I can't wait. All right, so I was playing the Bog Conjurer, but he died already. There's a few characters in here I cannot wait to play. The Fishy Confectioner. I mean, it's like a fish creature that sells food. And oh, the Fishy Confectioner was in, her crime was tax evasion and violation of the public health code. I'm telling you, the game's a hoot. I'm playing it alone, and I'm having a blast. So if you want to pick up a copy, I think it's $80 for the main copy, for the main set. Dude, it's so awesome. You've got years worth of play out of one, the main set with the scenarios that it comes with. No joke. So get the game, pick out some cool music. I've been jamming to the Conan soundtrack. I've been jamming to Wasp while I play this game. It reeks thrash metal and sleaze, and if you like that kind of shit, you're gonna love this game. So out of 10 stars, I give this one a 9.5. Yeah. Okay? I didn't give it the perfect 10. I don't know where that's ever gonna come from. It's a 9.5. It is just like, it's awesome. There's nothing wrong with this game. Okay? So pick it up, and I'll see you next time. I'm working on some crazy stuff to do, some crazy gaming field trips, and some awesome game people interviews. So follow me on Instagram, BOARDGASM. You'll find me pretty quick. And subscribe to the YouTube channel, Cardone Entertainment. My name's Adam Cardone. Thank you so much for watching. Over and out.